Hey guys, welcome to a new movie we're doing, MFKZ. If you don't know, how do you pronounce that? The name of the movie is MFKZ, or I think separately. If you put it together, how to pronounce that is weird. I don't think it's pronounced because if you look at the poster, there's little stars in between each one, so I think it's just MFKZ. But this is an animated movie by G-Kids. They release, if you don't know who G-Kids are, they're a company that releases a bunch of animated movies in America. They basically license, get the rights to, they just are like a publishing house where they get pre-existing movies and they release them. It's not like they make any of, I don't know if they make any of their own stuff, but they release them. They do all the Studio Ghibli stuff now, was great. They did Weathering with You, and I really liked, and they did Bella, so they did that. Also Fireworks, another one, those are all anime. But not all the movies are anime. This one is one I was watching and I was like, is this one count as anime? When I looked it up, because I had to look up the name, because this is not an easy name to remember, mind you. It's just a bunch of... It says it's Japanese and French for this movie, because if you go to G-Kids site, when it has to list all the movies, they say, like, where it is. Like, some say US, some say all the anime ones say Japan. They say where from. This one says Japan and French, so that could be why it doesn't look 100% maybe Japanese anime. But it does have a point where, like, is it Japanese anime or not? Because it has I think it just has a very unique style to it. So I think this one could count as anime, or couldn't. I think it's just in, like, it's in the middle, where it's like, I didn't know really what to count it as. I'm like, it feels like it's anime, but also feels like it's not. I don't know, because the main character is just a little black, like, kid, so he's like, and by black, I mean, he doesn't look normal, because a lot of the other characters in this show look like normal people, right? But he's a little kid, and his skin is like, he has like a black head, like, it's hard to describe, because he's a brown or black, he's almost like a cartoon character. He's like solid black, like this shirt, like black. I know, I'm not saying he's black as in a black person, but he's black as his color is black. He's like a little cartoon. He also like a little cartoon character. But he's actually pretty violent, action-y, and yeah. The movie has a lot of violence and cursing in it, so this is a mature movie with it all. It's about him. It starts off with about him, how he got left behind, and now he's on his own, and he met this other person who's also kind of like a cartoon character. He's like a guy, he's like a skeleton. He has like his hair's on fire, but he does have like a body, so it's like, it's not like he's all just a skeleton, right? People could shoot him and kill him and stuff, so he can't die stuff. But he has a head and he's on fire. And there's this other friend of theirs who's like a casting. I think his name is Willie, if I remember correctly. His name is Willie. And yeah, so there's these characters who want human-like characters, but there's also like everybody else in the world looks human, and also there's other things that we will talk about later. But it's about him, his friends, and he gets hit by a bus and stuff's happening, and then he starts seeing stuff, these monsters. Or these people, and he sees a shadow and it looks like a monster. It comes up later what that is. But the people start coming after him because these people have been looking for him. He has actually a secret power, but he's actually secretly, after that, people come looking for him, and after he has to escape and survive with his friend, and the guy with the flames call him, and they go off and kind of survive. And the guys are after him, and there's a lot of shooting, violence, action. This is great. The animation for this, I was surprised, because at some point I'm like, holy shit, the animation for this is pretty good, and the animation probably what's gonna make this as high as it is. I think the story and everything else is good as well. Animation, I think, does elevate a movie. If it's really good, like it's like really good, it can make a movie jump from it can jump a spot, even if the story is just like when I think the story is good for this movie, I think the animation just for something like simple, I'm like, oh my god, that seems way better than I was expecting for this movie. Because I've seen I think somebody talked about this a while ago, and I've seen bits and pieces of I've seen images of the characters. I know what the character looks like. I know of this movie. I'm watching it, I'm like, oh god, this was really good. Like I said, he has going to escape. Getting back to the topic about the movie, he's going to escape with his friend who's the skeleton guy. He's on fire, head's on fire. But they're going to escape, and then I'm gonna get to where we're gonna get to spoil it, because the rest of it I can't really talk about without spoiling. But they try to escape. The guys come after him. Eventually, they kidnap him. And he finds out he's actually secretly like an alien half-breed. His mom was human, his dad was this alien thing. They got together, they weren't supposed to. It's not okay because the aliens are going to take over the world. But I really like her, and I wanted to protect him. So his dad tried to protect him, and you find out his dad protected him at the end, and tried to protect him and his mom and stuff. It was really great, but they both died. But yeah, there's this other girl who comes into the picture who you see later throughout the whole thing. in the beginning you see her a couple times and stuff, but you find out she's actually bad, but you didn't realize she's working with the bad guy, but she feels like, oh no, I'm not. At the end, she does save to help him and help save them because he's in the same breed, because he's also half breed. And he feels like, what? I couldn't go out there, I couldn't do this, he said all this stuff, and he's like, and then the big leader's like, do you want to be like him? And like, kinda, yeah, he had actually a good life, and I was stuck here in this thing, so yeah. So there's her, she's a character who they didn't trust at first. The fact they were like, okay, and like, oh, that's the girl, we see her, maybe we can trust her, but then she goes in to talk, when they go in to talk to him when they're on the run, that's when he gets kidnapped, and they get them, and the guys are like telling him to kill his friend, because hey, this monster thing, why don't you turn unleash this thing, be a part of us, unleash this thing, they know he's super powerful, but he eventually breaks out and just starts attacking people, and there's these Vessel guys who are like secret guys, who are basically secret, have guys who've been around for ages, protecting the world, and they're here to eventually figure out signs and stuff of what's going on. And then, because the main character also has, going back to the beginning of the movie, in his house, he has cockroaches what he consider his pets. Like tons of them. Like giant up all around the walls and it's a bunch. And I'm like, oh my god, you've done like cockroaches and stuff? So I'm like, a bugs or anything? So I'm like, yep, nope, that's a spray, but I know they're your friends, but like, Jesus, I'm not a big cockroach, but I was like, the cockroaches basically tell the Vessel heroes where to go, and they help break them out, the other two, the two main characters who were kidnapped, and help them, and the society guys helping them, who builds a machine, who knows how to stop them, builds a giant rocket, shoots up into space, eventually freezes everything, they all get frozen, and then, after they get frozen, the only guy who's left is like the kind of like second in command or leader who's not an alien thing, but he's like, I'm working with them, I got, bad guy gotta stop you, but all the other ones got frozen, most of them. And then, so they stop that for now, and then eventually they do beat him, that guy, and then everything goes back to normal, they go friends, he writes a letter to the girl at the end, and stuff. It's very nice, it's a very nice ending, but the very ends with the moon, and it's like opening up, and it's like a space station or something, and the aliens coming out of it. I'm like, okay, so the main maybe villain guy made it out. But yeah, it was good. It was a good movie overall. I liked it, the music, everything. It was fun, and it amazingly. This is a movie. I'm going to rate it. It was between an 8 or 9, and I think I'm going to rate it 9. It was really good. I really like the animation. The animation is one of the reasons why I think it's a 9. Because some parts I was like, holy shit, the animation's really good. Like, oh my god, so fluent, so good. It's like, that's animation does not make a good movie. Just good animation alone does not. But the story and everything was good, I think, as well. It wasn't like maybe the highest, but it was enough that, well, the animation was high enough that made it just got into a 9 because of the animation. If the animation wasn't as tight, as good as it was, I think it would have dropped down to an 8. Because the story is good, but not like, I would say 9. It's almost 9, because like, to me it's like, right there, I think it all walks in a package that makes it a 9. So it's a 9 for me. So, what did you guys think of MFKZ? Sorry if I'm MFKZ, yeah. Since those 4 letters, it's hard to, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. But what did you guys think of this movie? Let me know what you saw down below. You guys can always stay up and see the next movie. See you next movie, you guys. Bye.